Hello, greetings. This is me again, Zahra Jawad. Um, just sharing this as usual, alone here, working on this. No one will approve of this, perhaps very few, but I had to do this because of the attack on me that started in 1999 very strongly in Pakistan when I finished my law degree from London and came back to my residence city, Karachi. So again, I'm getting threats and all that they will burn a building. And I realized doing some healing work on the video on YouTube. I don't know what to do, who to get help from. So because of my health, I couldn't find anyone. I was isolated. So I had to use social media to ask for help if there's anyone who can help me. Oops, who knows someone out there. They isolated us so much, my mother and that we wouldn't get along with anyone. And how bad it got, I cannot say. So I couldn't work, and like you can meet people and then do something about it. The moment I would try to work, something terrible would happen, or try to pray namaz in the house, something would take place. So uh, I knew my teacher in Karachi American School. Later on, found out the connections. But before this, joining Karachi American School in 1977, August, I think 22nd, 21st, as far as I remember. We had come from London. I lived for 3 years in London in my childhood with my parents. We shifted there, but my one brother was in Karachi, younger one. So only I and my another younger brother, we went with our parents. So then what happened is coming back to Karachi, I joined Karachi American School and met this really nice teacher. I got attached to her. Um, a classmate of mine, Nicole, we used to go to gym in recess time and play basketball. Then I offered my sports teacher, Miss Desa, some sweets and all, and thanked her for giving us the basketball to play in the gym during recess, and we would time ourselves and go on time back to the class. So that's how, and then she called me once after school. I think she made some chocolate or something. Oh, no, no, that was afterwards. Before that, something happened and she called me and another classmate of mine, or maybe, I'm not sure. Anyhow, so when she called me after school to her office, I started to walk with her. And then I made it a habit, started to go every day to walk with her. So since the age of 9 or 10, I got attached to my teacher and we became friends. And then she told me once herself that we are friends after school. So she became a family friend and I adored her like anything. And she wasn't American. She was Goan original, but Pakistani. That's my old American Karachi American School case, uh, open case on Facebook, a group, uh, case pending. We don't know who was behind all that. But whenever I went after the separation, they separated us in 19. I feel someone separated us. It was a conspiracy against us, me, and then I could see it later on in my life too. It was unsettling my life. So with the principal too later on in 19, when I joined St. Joseph's College, they wouldn't have it. So they had to change the law. That is, someone in a high post is one of my enemies in Karachi, Pakistan. They changed the college law, like put a limit. So they knew my age, and they put a limit to the age where now, since Mrs. Blossom, the sports teacher of St. Joseph's College, then took me on sports basis. My reference was Ernestine Lucas in St. Michael's School. Ernestine was always after me, like, join college, join college. She wanted me to join college, that I would be known for my sports abilities. And so one day, Ernestine called and said, Mrs. Blossom is in St. Michael's. I've spoken to her, and you go the next day. She's waiting for you, 10 o'clock in the morning. And I couldn't say no to Ernestine. So things were getting hard for me and Mr. Sa also. I had to leave St. Michael's School for some time. I couldn't concentrate on my studies here again. Mrs. Ann Nazareth, the vice principal then of St. Michael's School, Karachi, had a heart attack and she died. And then after 3 or 6 months, her other sister, Jessica Nazareth, also died. So I went to both of their funeral. It was quite strange. Mrs. Ann Nazareth had told me that she knew Miss Desa. They were partners in hockey. After that, she died of a heart attack, heart failure. So going back, oh yes, once like going back, my to when my brother was in Karachi American School also. So playing tennis. So I had through my father. He they used to talk to my father, Karachi American School, because my brother was in Karachi American School, but they wouldn't talk to me or my mother about my case. Anyways, I wanted to use the facilities until my brother was there. The family members were allowed to use the facilities, so I had to ask if I am still allowed to use the facilities. So I was playing. They said yes. My father went there and spoke to them, and they said yes, she can come after school, or so like that. Use the swimming pool, and uh, I could even play tennis there. They had two tennis courts. So when I went there, a Pakistani coach used to teach us tennis, and I've known him. So I used to use that facility during the summer. My brother used to go to him for squash, and I used to take lessons, go to him for tennis lessons. What happened is he had a heart attack. So I didn't after the summer vacations, my brother was in school still, Karachi American School, and he told me that the tennis coach had a heart attack and passed away. So I didn't take this seriously, meaning that I didn't take it, connecting it with my enemy wanting to do this to me. And so um, also the time when one of my birthdays, Mr. Said come, After a month, there was a Gulf Air crash, and my classmate's father was in that crash. We lost him. His family lost him. Very great man, Mr. Zaidi. Three of his children were in Karachi American School. Okay, so there's a thing going on here. I have to just pause for a while and I will continue. Hello, sorry to keep you waiting. Thank you for joining me and for the likes and all. Um, Here I was searching for the Buddhist thing where the Buddhists we were told were killing the Muslims somewhere. Turned out to be fake news, actually. How it started and how the Muslims were killing the Hindus there when the people went on the ground to see. Now we have this news: ex-wife of Dubai royal pleads for help from UN in child custody battle. It's against Sheikh Said bin Maktoum. So things happening to me here, like I feel I'm being harassed because I'm doing this maybe and complaining about the taxis and all. Because I realized that sorry. So you can read this. Uh, this is uh, this is terrible, heartbreaking for me. Okay, for my case, it's even worse now for my life. It's like killing because my Dubai Royal can do this, can trust. So it's about a sheikh, ex-wife of Sheikh Said. This is so terrible. Better they kill us. I mean, I want to die really. I cannot take this. So this is very heartbreaking, and I can't trust. Uh, you know, so and oh, we have no one. can take action against this in Dubai, in the UAE, except that now she could have pleaded to the president of UAE. This is so sad, very heartbreaking. But this means, why does she have to plead to the United Nations? So here also, like I feel suffocated, and I realized getting help on YouTube when I was concentrating on the raw eye protection that I'm not grounded. I'm very ungrounded. Like my mind is taking me somewhere else. The thoughts are very strong. They're pulling me towards another place. I can't take it. I can't take it. So the first time they had me sit down and stare at the wall, somehow for some reason, I was in Karachi, 2000 somewhere. I was because they said this, to safety for your family, fighting the witch, and safety for your principal, so that you can meet the principal in a good form and good, do help people out, and together we can do things as love brings in a sense of responsibility to help the people around you, support them, push them up, lift them up if they can't walk or go ahead. So lift them up, lift them forward to not pushy, not in the way that you force them to get up, but if you see they cannot get up, you carry them. So, this is what I mean. So, wanting to do my best for Karachi, Pakistan, bringing in family court reform, trying to bring a reform in the family law in Pakistan. They got me all mad. So I cannot concentrate. Like, no, no, no. So even now, like, they're threatening me to burn a building um, or something. And Mr. Shah was very quiet, actually. You could say that she was such a wise person. So after the Gulf Air crash, 1983, she realized that she knew maybe. And she even took me to watch a movie, Jaws, which was in Prince Cinema, Nishat, or what's the other cinema? Can't remember which one of the three on that road. So I think she was telling me indirectly that there's someone after us. So the Jaws movie had come, and she called me in the afternoon. Mr. San never calls me in the afternoon. In fact, the time when I call her in the afternoon, she would say, "My mother, you're disturbing," and all this. So I realized that her mother, they lived in a flat and all this, and it's not like a house. And I shouldn't be calling in the afternoon because her mother would sleep or something, would be sleeping or get disturbed. She was an elderly lady, Mama. So then I stopped calling her in the afternoon. And then once in 1980, after her mother's death, demise, she called me and she said at the nick of time, like, uh, so can you come with me? Usually, if I had done this, she would have said, "You're using me." Later on, she said, "You're using me as a guinea pig," or what's that? What's that saying? Not a guinea pig. You're using me because your father is married. And we didn't, like, he didn't tell us officially, but I also found out later on by following the phone calls and he had brought this new phone from London, where when you dial, the phone comes on this phone number comes on the screen. Mm. So uh, now, in retrospect, I think he wanted me to be disturbed and know about this. Okay, so this is happening, and so I was checking news because they're telling me that they're going to burn a building in Dubai or somewhere. They've already burnt a lot of warehouses in Sharjah some years ago when I came here in Sharjah. So now this Ariz guy, what's his name, Nasim Ariz, he also took no time to take revenge and say, yes, you're getting threats against my biological brother. I was getting, so he went back to those posts. What this is 2022. No, 20. Let's see if the old news is, or maybe 12. Sharjah warehouse. So I had to just drop this, not think about it. I told my father, he said, well, uh, you don't have to worry about this. The insurance company will take care of it. So during this year, oh my goodness. Yeah, so wanted to ask cancer patients, sorry, if they should not be disturbed, like, you know, because there's no energy to grieve and it's madness already inside. So there's a lot of madness, like I can't concentrate what to do on the things in the early when I get up. I can't do things properly. And keeping my feelings on Mrs. Munira Gulzar, like dying, and there's a pull. So, I'm sitting here, but like there's a pull, and then there's that claustrophobic feeling, घबराहट हो रही है, restlessness, agonizing, anguish, turmoil. So, and there's also like I have to move forward and then bend, so my shoulders would be bended. It's really weird the way they're controlling me. I wish I was like Miss Dessa, who kept quiet when after the separation I used to go to her place. That's why I wanted to know, like in church, go to church and pray to her God because it was getting too much, going there trespassing. That uh, elderly lady, poor lady, she was all alone until her sister came, eldest from Canada. Before that, going there and all this happening. But Miss Dessa was Miss Dessa. I mean, she was so wise. She kept quiet. They had to they put her on silence, mute. This poor lady, right? So because Gulf Air crash, Khadija Zaidi's father, Mr. Zaidi, in that. So Mr. Sa was not even talking to me on the Soyam when we went to the family. We went to their house, Khadija Zaidi's house, for the majlis. They were Shias. Father's soyam. That's like what do you like funeral prayers and all this in the house they had held. Miss Tissa was just not talking to me, and I was so shocked that life is so short. Like not even hello, Miss Tissa. And then later on, I don't remember. I think we started to talk. Like I had to plead to her later on to talk to me, but not in Khadija Zaidi's house. Um, so, Like even Father Colasso in one of the Christmas masses, he said that one should, forgive your enemies, those and try to make relationships rather than break them. But that sermon in church of Father Colasso in Mistisa's parish church did not have an effect on Mistisa at all. I thought, and then Father Colasso and I became very good, very close friends. He used to come to my house. So I was like, why didn't it affect Mistisa? I was in church. She never came towards me to speak to me. What had made her so scared not to speak to me? It's Christmas Mass. Uh, like Nadeem Sarwaz Noha, if you are Shia, you would understand. Apno ko manao. Uh, Jesus Christ. When I used to read that Bible verse, I had a Bible back in Karachi. I used to like be crying inside, breaking down. Like, if your brother sins, even, God, 70 times, uh, however, and if 70 times he comes and says sorry, I mean, this is the Christian responsibility, duty Jesus Christ has given them. But not in Tamina Durani's case, where the husband is getting physical, and then you need to seek help. So it's not practical anyway. So we don't know. I guess we have to take every case in its own way. Okay, so I don't want to come. Actually, I want my mind to go on washing clothes, make breakfast. It's not going there. So I have to sit here, be pulled forward at times. Um, my mind is hijacked, subtle now. So also doing this, the UAE authorities will hate me for this. They would want to kill me. So I invite them, at least, I don't want to live anymore. Yeah, don't say this. So you can send, like, poison me to slow death and a very in excruciating pain. I'm in excruciating pain. And once in a blue moon, I go out and I don't get a taxi, and then sickening, throwing up, puking, headaches. So no taxi stopping. I feel like if they don't like me, then okay, I can't go anywhere else because of my health and my this thing. Where will I go? I can't go anywhere else. And I'm taking financial help, but apostasy. So for the life of me, I don't know what to do. I'm supposed to complain, but I said no, no, don't complain. Let it be. Putting clothes. The water comes very doesn't come with pressure. I've lost many clothes like this, like दाग हो जाता है in the washing machine. So I just have to do with that. Uh, I say don't complain, just let it go. The more I complain, the more the water goes less. So they know my weakness here. So recently I said that I will complain later, but I told the person, and then the water has gone less pressure. But what happens is, okay, I can take this, but I can't take the washing machine. I can. the water that comes in the washing machine, it only absorbs, it's good for absorbing the water for the clothes. Even if I put one towel, my goodness, I have to do it again and again, like one full cycle wash, because the pressure is not coming, water pressure, and it spoils my clothes. Anyways, I'm stranded here. This is our Muslim, what, this is terrible. So much money. So I'm not, I get one in that mood that, no, no, don't complain. Who are you? You had a Pakistani mother. They won't listen to you. And another thing I remember today, apostasy. No, see, I told you, you never know what UAE will do. So there's a law here. Legal punishment for conversion from Islam is death. So calling the Dubai police and all, I'm here. You know where I am. Uh, there have been no known prosecutions or legal punishments for apostasy in court in the United Arab Emirates, but I'm doing this. You see, so I don't know. On top, perhaps they hate me or something like that, and so perhaps even my brother. I was telling him that day, they hate you. They hate you. The government hates you because the wife is has a upper hand. She can only call the police and they will come there. But I call and they say you have to come to the this thing police station. So the Indian Muslim wife has more rights here in the UAE than I do as a UAE. God knows what this is. Uh, so that some time back, apostasy law. I don't think it's removed. Huh? Apostasy is no longer a crime in the United Arab Emirates. Now Wikipedia says this, but this state, which website? United Arab Emirates, the constitution guarantees the freedom to exercise religious worship in accordance with established custom. This is a website 2009 to 2017 state government. Freedom of religion in the United Arab Emirates, Wikipedia. I don't know how far this is true. Apostasy is no longer a crime. Sorry, excuse me. It's no longer a crime in the United Arab Emirates. In 1978, UAE began the process of. Okay. So I'm doing this because I have nothing. I can't do anything right now, and I'm getting threats. Oh, the Buddhist killing. So there was a man who was doing our curtains here. He told me, you see, my principal in Pakistan told me when I went to her house after 8 years, Yusuf Zaidi, dafa ho gaya. Thank God, that man. Very bad. He was very badly handled my case. Shia, but recently I've seen a great man who killed 5 years ago, a video on YouTube I came across recently, but it's 5 years ago. Buddhists killing Muslims. Then I keep forgetting. So this curtain man came Which countries? Myanmar. Yeah. So this curtain man came and he was talking in Urdu. So I thought he was a Pakistani, but he had his relatives in Myanmar. And he told me that His Highness the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi has, has been helping the Muslims, the case in Myanmar. So that's how I found out about His Highness the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, uh, right? Sheikh. Now he's the president. So I was like, really, that's great. You see, 8 years afterwards, separated from Mrs. Munira Gulzar, in some 2009-10, I was still in Karachi. I went to Mrs. Munira Gulzar's place. Ooh, telling Jude, my friend, sorry, don't tell me where you work. They can read my mind and they might attack you. And don't tell me your whereabouts now, since you left your mother's place. Don't tell me where you live even. Yeah, I had become that paranoid. So there was only the principal and her niece and her sister in the house. Year 2010, I went to her place, I think, October. So she told me, why don't you do, because of my, I said, no, therapy, psychiatrist doesn't help. Neither do my prayers. So she said, why don't you go into Buddha? Do something, about in Buddhist. Well, her English is quite well, and I'm quite confused here. How did she say it? Persecution of Muslims in Myanmar. So there was another article after this that uh, it was some of these Muslims had incited this because out of the Buddhists because they had killed Hindus there. Ground uh, examination, what do you call it? Investigation on the ground. So after this thing came, to subdued, some people went there, found out, asking people, ground investigation, that actually the Muslims had incited by killing some Hindus there in Myanmar. So let me show you. 25 Muslims in, wait a minute. So Myanmar does this. And you know that keeping Bibi Mariam's picture from Life magazine, 1991, 92, on my wall, sticking it, oh, sorry, no, on my door, room door in Karachi. What happened where Bibi Mariam, Our Lady of Mojugore, that's in Bosnia or where, right? Chechnya. Huh? And she was giving me peace to this restlessness for 6 years separated from Istisa, restless soul. Okay, on the principal's official birthday, 6th April 1992, Bosnia war started. And you know Mojugore, Life magazine from that Our Lady of Mojugore is there. And principal 6th April, official birthday in her passport. So then I heard, okay, about this also now, Myanmar. So the principal told me, why don't you go into Buddha? Hindus were killed. Just to make sure, I Hindus were killed by Muslims. So, newamnesty.org. Now you say this is American, this mafia, American mafia, international, Western mafia. Like that the person on the Facebook Messenger, some other person told me, Katak. New evidence reveals a Rohingya armed group massacred scores in Rakhine state. This, I mean, new evidence, yeah? 25th August. It had to be August. Okay, panic. I hope you are, sorry, excuse me. Okay, yes, new evidence. This is how I'd read it a few years ago, then later on. After the curtain man told me that the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi at that time just give me a few minutes. Sorry again, a break for a few minutes. And if you are going to burn, no, oh my God. You see this? New evidence reveals that actually it was the Muslims. But of course, someone like dystopia to reason. So why are we being like the Britishers also being punished as bomb blast? I mean, the Hindus should have punished the, you know. Okay, and so, but they don't. It's Pakistanis bomb blast. So before going where? Don't worry. No, no. I'll just don't worry. Bomb blast in London, the city. When I was in Karachi. Huh? What's this? 2005. Yes, yes. 2005. Huh? No, no. It says Ayman al Zawar, key people. But you know who's behind it? M16. And the Jews are doing it, the Zionist. So, was I going to say very good? Sorry, it blurred. Very, very good. We are getting, like revenge happening quickly. Uh, you are taking revenge from us. Britishers quite now. Now, America, even Britain, no, no, they say Jews, 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 but you know what? The whole London city will become Muslim. Already Lauren Booth has become Muslim. Don't worry, your eye should be worried. Lauren Booth. So she has become a Shia Muslim. She went to Bibi Masuma Kum, Imam Ali Raza's sister, and there she changed. I feel really sorry for her now. She cannot leave, otherwise, in our Shia also there is death penalty or a life in prison. Oh. So she has changed her religion. Sorry, I don't mean to pick on her, but just saying that you know what will happen to London. And what this in Pakistan 5 years ago, killing. Where did on what did I see this? Oh, here. So Oh my God, I can't change my channel. This thing. No, no. Yes. No, I don't want to see this. Before going to sleep, I was like, I'll kill myself. God doesn't come for us. Can you hear it?
A very good evening from BBC London News. The son of a
Can you hear
60-year-old
it?
Londoner who was gunned down in a sectarian attack in Pakistan has spoken. A very good evening from BBC London News. The son of a 60-year-old Londoner who was gunned down in a sectarian attack in Pakistan has spoken exclusively to the BBC about the family's ordeal. Naya Zaidi from Northwood was shot at a religious gathering in the city of Karachi. Asian Network reporter Rikin Majithia has the story.
Mr. Zaidi was a family man. He had travelled to Karachi to spend time with his brothers, daughter, and 2-year-old grandson, Amma.
They were loving
He had
grandson.
also hoped to organise a summer wedding for his son. It's a wedding he'll never attend. In late October, Mr. Zaidi was caught in the crosshairs of religious extremists, gunned down with 2 of his brothers as he stood outside a Shia Muslim gathering. His eldest son, Nazar, who lives in Northwood, has been speaking for the first time since the attack. It was a sort of ladies' religious gathering at a private residence, and all the ladies were inside the house, and a few menfolk, including my dad and his brothers, were outside. And 2 men on a bike with guns turned up, and they started shooting sort of each person there.
So I'm dead. Senako. I can't. So last night, what was the Noha? I couldn't get up. I was so Zainab ka tha bayan kham utane ko reh gayi. Zainab ka tha. Ooh. No, I'm not going back to my religion, but क्या अंधेरा. This was, sorry, it makes me very depressed. During the Mr. Sa separation. This Noha. क्या अंधेरा है puppy. Now, this andhera has come for a Shia family 5 years ago, and it doesn't matter really. 6 years separated from Mr. Sa. Don't ask my restlessness, fish out of water. Babies. So God give them patience. That's what we are here to just pray. 5 years ago, it says here, Rakin Majitia. Oh God. So, okay, when I'm here, I don't know. Gandhi can't. हमारे लिए तो अंधेरा ही अंधेरा है. But these Shias, they are very strong. I don't know. I was also a Shia, but I wasn't that strong. I don't know how people say I'm strong. Come here and say I'm strong. So what someone was saying, I'm not strong. Otherwise, the strong person would not be doing this on social media, knowing what kind of people are out there. So, oh God. ठीक यतीमा हुसैन सरवर शाह सरवर की प्यारी जिसे करार न था सुबह शाम वाह वेला वावेला ज़मीं पे लिखती थी बाबा का नाम. We're supposed to stand up for this. Noha, as we used to, in Bara Imam Varga Kharadar, when Bibi Sakina's tabut would come from upstairs, downstairs. A Sayyid lady used to recite this Noha. जिसे करार न था सुबह शाम. So, Hal min Nasir Anzar naam. No, sorry. Was that? Sorry, no. It's another one. Noha. गलियों में रोती है Baba. So that thing from that separation thing has remained. I can't remember those nohas. I'm not supposed to, but right now, extreme restlessness had come over me. So, sabar. What's that noha? I think mostly in my grandfather's friend, racecourse friend, Rana. They were Shias. So his wife used to have a ladies' majlis. I think in that majlis, the Noha Sakina रोती है और शाम की गलियां रोती हैं. हल इन्नल्लाह साबरी इन्नल्लाह साबरी. Innallama sabri. And the peace not coming. Innallama sabri. बेचैन सकीना होती है. Now tell me how I become happy. How I become happy. Such a loving grandfather. Ooh. Yes, grandfather. Ooh. So sorry. My heart goes out. How I become happy. We are the sons of sorrow. We are the sons of sorrow. Khalil Gibran. We and you. So for this year, Sabr, Imam Hussein, I also left my loved one. Khalil Gibran. And you are the sons of. What? Killing like this outside his house, Killing like this outside his house. The men go out, ladies' majlis, right? The croaking eagle. We are the sons of sorrow. And you are the sons of joy. Oh, sorry, I dropped this. Oops, okay. We are the sons of sorrow. And sorrow is the shadow of a God who lives not in the domain of evil hearts. I don't want any happiness. We are the sorrowful spirits. We are sorrowful spirits, and sorrow is too great to exist in small hearts. When you laugh, we cry and lament, and he who is seared and cleansed once with his own tears will remain pure forevermore. You understand us not, but we offer our sympathy to you. You are racing with the current of the river of life, and you do not look upon us, but we are sitting by the coast, watching you and hearing your strange voices. You do not comprehend our cry, for the clamor of the days is crowding your ears, blocked with the hard substance of your years of indifference to truth. You see, that's what happens when you don't know the truth. But we hear your songs, for the whispering of the night has opened our inner hearts. We see you standing under the pointing finger of light, but you cannot see us, for we are tearing in the enlightening darkness. How great is darkness! We are the sons of sorrow. We are the poets and the prophets. No, I don't want to be prophet, sorry. Khalil Gibran. And the musicians. We weave raiment for the goddess from the threads of our hearts, and we fill the hands of the angels with the seeds of our inner selves. You are the sons of the pursuit of earthly gaiety. You place your hearts in the hands of emptiness, for the hands touch to emptiness is smooth and inviting. You reside in the house of ignorance, for in his house there is no mirror in which to view your souls. We sigh, and from our sighs arise the whispering of flowers and the rustling of leaves and the murmur of rivulets. I don't know how I'm going on here reading. When you ridicule us, your taunts mingle with the crushing of the skulls and the rattling of shackles. I can't believe that. And the wailing of the abyss. When we cry, our tears fall into the heart of life as dewdrops fall from the eyes of night into the heart of dawn. And when you laugh, your mocking laughter pours down like the viper's venom into a wound. We cry and sympathize with the miserable wanderer and distressed widow. But you rejoice and smile at the sight of resplendent gold. We cry, for we listen to the mourning of the poor and the grieving of the oppressed weak. But you laugh, for you hear not but the happy sound of the wine goblets. We cry, for our spirits are at the moment separated from God. But you laugh, for your bodies cling with unconcern to the earth. We are the sons of sorrow, and you are the sons of joy. Let us measure the outcome of our sorrow against the deeds of your joy before the face of the sun. You have built the pyramids upon the hearts of slaves, but the pyramids stand now upon the sand, commemorating to the ages our immortality and your evanescence. You have built Babylon upon the bones of the weak and erected the palaces of Nineveh upon the graves of the miserable. Babylon is now but the footprint of the camel upon the moving sand of the desert, and its history is repeated to the nations who bless us and curse you. We have carved Ishtar from solid marble and made it to quiver in its solidity and speak through its muteness. We have composed and played the soothing song of Nahawand upon the strings and caused the beloved spirit to come hovering in the firmament near to us. We have praised the Supreme Being with words and deeds. The words became as the words of God, and the deeds became overwhelming love of the angels. You are following amusement, whose sharp claws have torn thousands of martyrs in the arenas of Rome and Antioch. But we are following silence, whose careful fingers have woven the Iliad and the Iliad and the book of Job and the lamentations of Jeremiah. You lie down with lust, whose tempest has swept 1,000 processions of the soul of women away and into the pit of shame and horror. But we embrace solitude, in whose shadow the beauties of Hamlet and Dante are arose. You curry for the favor of greed, and the sharp swords of greed have shed 1,000 rivers of blood, but we see company with truth. अभी हम डिस्टोपिया टू रीजन कोरम बाई को दें कुछ शियाओं को दें जो क्रिमिनल हो गए हैं, सुधरते नहीं हैं. क्या चीज़ तुम लोगों को सुधारेगी उधर कराची पाकिस्तान में? The hands of truth have brought down knowledge from the great heart of the circle of light. The hands of truth have brought down knowledge. So Kaurambai said, be with the educated, the intelligent people. Yeah. Sorry, some of you Shias also, who spread false rumors. I've known you molesting children and all this. But we seek, so here Hindus come, those faithful to their dharma, and have not left India, but went to the Himalayas, not gone to Europe and America and other continents. But we seek company with truth, and the hands of truth have brought down knowledge. You see, the hands of truth have brought down. If you get this truth from the hands of knowledge, what happened to you? From the great heart of the circle of light. Now, I don't care. America people come, Israelis come, Jews come, Saudi Arabians come. We are the sons of sorrow, and you are the sons of joy. And between our sorrow and your joy, there is a rough and narrow path which your spirited horses cannot travel, and upon which your magnificent carriages cannot pass. We pity your smallness as you hate our greatness, and between our pity and your hatred, time has bewildered. We come to you as friends, Israel, America, government, army, but you attack us as enemies. Britain, what you do before, and between our friendship and your enmity, there is a deep ravine, flowing with tears and blood. We build palaces for you, and you dig graves for us. And between the beauty of the palace, UAE, Qatar, now they give me bamboo. I want them, I'm calling them to kill me. We build, soon, quickly do it. We build palaces for you, and you dig graves for us. And between the beauty of the palace, Bahrain, excuse me, Majma Bahrain, and the obscurity of the grave, humanity walks as a sentry with iron weapons. We spread your path with the roses, and you cover our beds with thorns. And between the roses and the thorns, truth slumbers fitfully. Since the beginning of the world, you have fought against our gentle power with your coarse weakness. Sorry, also, my uncle's wife's family member, very, very dhamak, Hussein Sajwani, making tall, tall buildings here. So your croak and clamor merrily like the frogs of the water, us for an hour. And when you triumph over us for an hour, you croak and clamor merrily like the frogs of the water. And when we conquer you and subdue you for an age, we remain as silent giants. So as you are killing us, progressing, दाबर जी मैं देख रहा हूँ कि एक माँ अपने दो बेटों के साथ ईंटें और उठा रही है, to build for, she had to work in Diwar movie coming, dialogue from Diwar movie, Amitabh Bachchan's. Dabar साहब मैं देख रहा हूँ. You crucified Jesus and stood below him, blaspheming and mocking at him. But at last he came down and overcame the generations and walked among you as a hero, filling the universe with his glory and his beauty. And here I was, John the Baptist. In London also, what he said to King Herod and his wife and all. Going on this, I cannot come to Dubai and go on street in Abu Dhabi, repent, saying like John the Baptist. You poisoned Socrates. Yes, give me. You see, this is what they want. So give me the poison, right? I will drink it. I'm Socrates, little Socrates here. And stoned Paul and destroyed Ali Talib, yani Imam Ali, and assassinated Mother Pasha. Who's Mother Pasha? Sorry, I've not heard of him. And yet, but in this only. And yet those immortals are with us forever before the face of eternity. But you live in the memory of man like corpses upon the face of the earth. And you cannot find a friend who will bury you in the obscurity of non-existence and oblivion, which you sought on earth. We are the sons of sorrow, and sorrow is a rich cloud showering the multitudes with knowledge and truth. Or sorrow. You are the sons of joy, and as high as your joy may reach, by the law of God, it must be destroyed before the winds of heaven and dispersed into nothingness, for it is not but a thin and wavering pillar of smoke. Now you hear police cars coming. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Siren coming for you. Okay, so Khalil Gibran, I not even, I go against Imam Ali, right? Look at this. I show earlier. Now with this, how many people coming here? Be serious about their life. While America, the way it get us, Britain got, oh, not only India, but where I was told, Oman, colonial Oman. Now we cannot call it Muscat anymore. It's a crime. Britain, British rule, you know, and they make father and the brother fight. What happened in 1891, you know? Oman and Muscat became a British protectorate. For much of this period, I'm not telling you to go like Pakistanis, please. आओ एक काम करें Karbala याद करें. Oh, so, but I raise a voice against my yes, I become Alzheimer's, right? Abusing, sorry, Alzheimer's. Uh, Ones who have it, I also have it. So what happened now? You see this London, who do this? No, M16. Jews do it? Jews have been living in London. Okay, maybe Jews did it now. Let me see, it's a 7/11. This happened on Chichi, Miss Shafika Fikri's. Oh, very, very near. Now we go to Britannica and we see what happened here. London bombings of 2005, also called 7 July attacks or 7/7. Oh, Yusuf Zedi, you see this? This symmetry, like Mummy, Mrs. Symmetry happening. And then I will show you where symmetry happening. Where symmetry happening? Sheikh Maktoum bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Symmetry happening. On his passing away date. Here also symmetry happening. Coordinated suicide bomb attacks on the London transit system on the morning of July 7, 2005. At 8:50, my father there in Marble Arch. Seymour, maybe Seymour Street, Explosions tore through 3 trains. What this? I'm not able to talk. I go quiet. Something happening to me. I think I'm receiving a shock again. I cannot read this out. Please help me. Wait a minute. Britannica? Yeah, so Al Qaeda made by who? Of course, America doing this. You are so stupid. I cannot look at this. I can't. You see, if my principal alive, she will know what I mean all the time. I can't do this. I cannot read this, sorry. So, yes, so Al Qaeda. What, so now we go to YouTube. Ah, yeah, here, because you're Shia, right? There, symmetry happening. Here also, Shia's very patient. And we have what, the cemetery happening? I forgot. Where am I going? डैडी मैं तो बोल ही गया तेरा मुझसे पहले का नाता. Where my mummy? I want my mummy. So where was I going? I forgot. Oh, Hillary Clinton. We made them. Definitely you made the so Hillary, how the Osama bin Laden raid got. You see, you made the Mujahideens. Hillary Clinton say. And no, I want my mummy. Sorry, I cannot make you my mummy. Hillary Clinton say, we made the Mujahideen. Oh, so Zahra, this testifying before Congress. I hear this when I'm in Karachi.
As with her appearance the previous day before a congressional committee, Secretary Clinton Thursday faced questions about President Obama's strategy to strengthen Afghanistan against a resurgent Taliban and bolster Pakistan against extremist advances. Lawmakers voiced concerns about Pakistan's willingness to fully recognize the threat posed by the militants. Nita Lowey is the Democrat heading the House State Foreign Operations Subcommittee. How do we succeed in Pakistan if the Pakistanis themselves are either unwilling or incapable of making the tough choices and taking the tough action needed to confront the insurgency? Democratic Representative David Obi pointed to the Pakistani government's agreement with the Taliban in the Swat Valley, the latest manifestation of which could be seen in Taliban advances in the Buner region, only 100 kilometers from Islamabad. Obi warned that Pakistani political factions are still not seeing the real threat. We have begun to express their to focus on the main threat. I was heartened to hear that leaders of opposing political parties, even Islamic-based political parties, have begun to express their concerns about the deal in Swat. Parliamentarians are beginning to speak out. Yesterday, I called for the Pakistani diaspora to also speak out. The Obama administration is preparing a list of benchmarks to measure progress in both Pakistan and Afghanistan, something cops. But we do think we owe you a set of measurements that we're going to try to judge whether we're making progress or not, and that you should be able to judge as well. On other issues at Thursday's hearing, Secretary Clinton said Washington will not deal with a Palestinian Authority unity government that includes Hamas unless Hamas recognizes Israel, renounces violence, and agrees to existing agreements. On Iran's nuclear ambitions, Clinton said every government with which she has personally met since becoming Secretary of State wants to support the strongest posture toward Iran. Clinton also spoke about the situation in Somalia. She said,
Sorry, it wasn't that one. Maybe it's this one.
we also have a history of kind of moving in and out of Pakistan. I mean, let's remember here, the people we are fighting today, we funded 20 years ago. And we did it because we were locked in this struggle with the Soviet Union. They invaded Afghanistan, and we did not want to see them control Central Asia. And we went to work. And it was President Reagan in partnership with the Congress, led by Democrats, who said, you know what, sounds like a pretty good idea. Let's deal with the ISI and the Pakistani military, and let's go recruit these mujahideen. And that's great. Let's get some to come from Saudi Arabia and other places, importing their Wahhabi brand of Islam so that we can go beat the Soviet Union. And guess what? They retreated. They lost billions of dollars, and it led to the collapse of the Soviet Union. So there's a very strong argument, which is, wasn't a bad investment to end the Soviet Union, but let's be careful what we sow because we will harvest. So we then left Pakistan. We said, okay, fine. You deal with the stingers that we've left all over your country. You deal with the mines that are along the border. And by the way, we don't want to have anything to do with you. In fact, we're sanctioning you. So we stopped dealing with the Pakistani military and with ISI, and we now are making up for a lot of lost time.
And we in Karachi, Pakistan, and the whole Pakistan, sorry, we have these killing Shias, good confession, but no action taken. These are war crimes. Oh, and how many people Pakistan lost joining with America. Now Taliban, Al Qaeda against army of Pakistan because they joined America. This is the world, right? So say what you may. I may say, no one hearing me. What else is there? When my aunt, grand aunt, Zaranti in Beirut, what happened? We were told. Beirut, British thing, conspiracy, broke. They broke Beirut. Now, you want me to keep saying this? No, I go to the heart of a Beirut explosion, how conspiracy theories spread on social media. They killed us from the inside. Hmm? This 2021? No, Beirut, British. Okay, so now I go. What do you expect from me? 19, probably 64. She was still in Karachi. My history of Lebanon. Who broke Beirut? Of course, I mean, like this, I will not find it. I have to seep through, like I seep through the Quran and the commentary section, ayats and the hadiths, and the life story of Prophet Muhammad. So, all this, of course, uh, terrorists, greedy people introduced into Greece upon their arrival, great variety. How they break Beirut, Lebanon. Now, the thing is that first and foremost, I'm looking for God, Baba. When is God coming? When is Imam Mahdi coming to bring justice to the world? Not coming, so please let me do my work here. Because one big terrorist also in the name of God, Allah, Prophet Muhammad. So I may not be able to sympathize and say, Zainab ka tha bayan gham utane ko reh gayi. I'm not myself also. I come out of it with pain and I'm still in it. But maybe we strike something, right? A strike in the sense that we, I also, people like me, very hard as sand made, Kalai. Very, very stubborn in this way, not getting peace. And so if I keep my mouth shut here, very, very good. Abu Dhabi financial help coming for the in Emirati. keep my mouth shut, go shopping, do this. Can take a shower. So let me uh, get like a breakthrough, like my friend look like take a pause, you know, Sir Russell. So I sit at home and I will, Sir Russell, Sir Peter Russell. So you see, sit at home. And then when I realize, where is Peter Russell? Here, he looked like oh my God. Yeah, we, in childhood, we play cricket. Oh, goodness. So you see, Britishers, how nicely. And he even says that what we have done, so I have to show you his video. I'll search for it. You see, all this uh, Peter Russell on advancement, you will maybe they want to kill us. Dystopia to reason, Korambai, Gulzar Elia, that where you are going backward. And Hindus also, right? Where is Peter Russell? Sorry, I'm trying to search for. Here he is. So I'm trying to search for uh, his video. What his book I buy? God, where is his channel? I can't find it. I know his videos are on other channels. Awaken podcast. You see, uh, people going very fast and a lot of waste, global warming happening. You see, here it is.
You're listening to Awaken with Angus Forces. Oh, a few little light questions like what is the ego? Uh, what is consciousness? What the heck do we actually know about anything ever? Um,
Oh
I
God.
then take him down a little rabbit hole of where do thoughts come from, uh, and then he also tells us a bit about his book, Letting Go of Nothing. It's just lovely. He's lovely. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Let's have a listen.
My mic off, I think. Now the sound is coming. Just checking here. So you see, he talks about letting go of nothing. Where is it about the world he talks? His short, no, no, his video one, not short video, sorry. What is non duality? So now he's saying against what his Western people doing, what the Shias have said, support of nature. Oh, yes, I think maybe this one, let's see.
Back in the 60s, I spent time studying transcendental meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi at his ashram in Rishikesh in India. When he was assessing how we were each progressing in our practice, he was usually not so interested in our experiences within meditation itself, such as whether we were having deep insights or visions or tasting higher states of consciousness. His principal interest was whether we were noticing what he called increased support of nature. By this he meant, were we noticing that the world seems to support our needs and intentions?
what today we might call having synchronicities or meaningful coincidences. And he reasoned as follows. In meditation, we are transcending, that is, going beyond the thinking mind. Much of our thinking is concerned with our personal needs and desires, and many of the problems we see in the world, from international and environmental problems to social and personal problems, stem in one way or another from our self-centered thinking. Thus, in transcending this way of thinking, we are freeing ourselves from a root cause of our problems and are therefore supporting nature in the most fundamental way possible. And nature returns the favor by supporting us. Now, I've never heard of any other teacher taking this approach, which is not to say there may not be some. And although it may sound a little like magical thinking, I've noticed it to be frequently true in my own life. When I'm meditating regularly, and especially when I've been on a meditation retreat, life seems to work out very well. Many little coincidences leading me to just what I need at the time. On the other hand, when I'm stressed, not in touch with my inner being, but caught up in my needs and wants, synchronicities like this do not flow so well.
You see, nature, this is what I contemplate in Karachi, that maybe we not live like natural people. That's why nature not helping us. Herbal medicines not helping. Nature will only help us if we align to nature and live by nature. If we live in cities and high buildings, we not get proper air, not the proper sun. Living in buildings, I experience now. I can't even have go to my house, go to my garden, get some sun. That even gone from me. I'm very shy, not go out here. And then, so another thing is, what is book I buy? Peter Russell. Maybe in that he explains, where is it that he explain about the, uh, oh God, from science to God, his book, this one. Please bear with me. I think it's in this one that he speaks about the advancement and all technological and all.
How is it that something as unconscious as the matter of the brain can ever give rise to something as immaterial as an experience? When I see a tree, it looks as if I'm seeing the tree directly. But science tells me something completely different is happening. Light enters the eye, where it's absorbed by the retina and it triggers electrical impulses, which travel down nerve fibers to the brain. The brain then analyzes the data, and from that creates its own picture of the world. I then have the experience of seeing a tree. What I'm actually seeing is not the tree itself, but the image of the tree that appears in my mind. And this is true of everything I experience. Every sound, color, sensation, taste, smell, memory, thought. They're all just images appearing in my mind. And it's not just human beings that have it. I often hear scientists say that animals aren't conscious. But is that really so? And when I see a dog lying on the floor asleep and its legs are twitching and its nose is quivering, I imagine it's dreaming, and if it's dreaming, it's having an experience. And also, why else would we bother giving our pets anesthetics when we operate if we didn't believe they were conscious? Why would we want to make them unconscious? The difference with human beings is that we know that we know. We are conscious that we are conscious. With self-awareness came a sense of a self, of an I that is aware. But what exactly is the self, this feeling of I that we all know so well? This is the second great mystery of consciousness. To know what the self really is, we need to carefully observe our own consciousness.
And this is the path that many spiritual seekers have explored. They've looked deep within their own minds, trying to find the essence of self. And they all come up with the same answer. There's nothing there. No thing we can call the self. This sense of a unique, separate individual self turns out to be an illusion, albeit a very convincing illusion. On the other hand, when we discover what we really are, when we discover this sense of being that's always there underneath, there comes a sense of liberation. There's the realization that we don't need to do anything in order to be anybody. And with that, the mind relaxes. I think what we need today is an integration of our scientific understanding of the world with the wisdom that's held in the world's spiritual traditions. The next great frontier is not outer space, it's inner space. Research into the nature of consciousness itself. The one thing we all know for sure, and the one thing we've not yet explored.
So in this also, sorry, not this one. Where could it be? Please have patience with signs to God, signs to God. Let me see. I'll just, sorry, I don't mean to be rude.
And what we're actually seeing is just shaped light. But we get so engrossed in the movie, the stories, the feelings we're having, the sadness, the horror, the excitement, that we forget it's all just a form that light has taken on. A similar process happens in the mind. All I ever actually experience are the images appearing in my consciousness. But it doesn't seem that way. When I see a tree, it looks as if I'm seeing the tree directly. But science tells me something completely different is happening. Light enters the eye, where it's absorbed by the retina and it triggers electrical impulses, which travel down nerve fibers to the brain. The brain then... We're rather like the medieval astronomers who never question their basic assumption. And what is our basic assumption today? It is that matter is not conscious, that matter is totally devoid of the capacity for experience. An alternative assumption, and one that's being taken seriously by a growing number of people, is that the capacity for experience is present to some degree in everything. Awareness itself isn't something that's created by the brain. It doesn't suddenly appear as if by magic out of nowhere once a particular arrangement of the nervous system has evolved. The capacity for experience is there all along. Now, this isn't actually such a new idea. You find it's a common theme in Eastern philosophy. Many Western philosophers have explored it. But it's never been taken seriously by Western science. What happens if we do take it seriously? It turns out it doesn't really change anything in science. Mathematics is still the same. The laws of physics all hold true. Chemistry, biology, everything we've discovered there's the same. What it changes is our view of ourselves and our place in the cosmos. It puts consciousness right back at the center of things. In this view, consciousness is not limited to creatures with nervous systems. Even a simple bacterium has a faint glimmer of awareness. Nothing like the rich experience we know, nothing like a thought or a feeling, perhaps just the faintest sense of warmth or light. If numbers could be put to it, maybe a billionth of human consciousness, but not nothing at all. As life became more complex, also its experience of the world became more complex. When it developed sensory systems, it was able to take in more information from the world. And then later, as it developed nervous systems, it was able to process that information and get a better picture of the world around. So the image that appeared in consciousness got richer and more detailed. And then with human beings, evolution took another step forward, because we not only see the world and hear the world in all its incredible detail, we can also think about our experience. We can reflect upon it. And we can also then begin to reflect upon ourselves and the fact that we are experiencing. and we notice that we are conscious. We become conscious of consciousness itself. And this is the next great step that we've made. We have made the step into self-awareness.
Sorry I had to skip some, because something he said in one of his videos wanted to make me stand up and salute him. This is also great, but about the problems today in this advanced modern world. Let me see. So if I can just find it like this.
Oneness. And then I was thinking that we're all of the same substance, essentially. And we're all born of stardust. Every atom in your body, every single atom in your body existed before the earth existed. The atoms are created in these is that we feel okay inside. We feel content. And that I think is a natural state of mind. And in that natural state of mind, there isn't a separate sense of me and the rest of the world. The attention tends to be sort of an open, relaxed mode of attention. We're just observing the world. It's almost like being in a standby mode. It's something we know when we're sort of sitting in nature, first thing when we wake up in the morning, before we start getting into our thoughts, that moment of awakening is just that open mode of consciousness. We all know it from time to time. And then what happens is there's some need arises, or there's some threat, some danger, whatever it is. There's something needs taken care of. We need to find something, get something, or avoid something. And we temporarily move out of that natural state of contentment into a state where the attention becomes focused on dealing with the situation, getting what we want. And we naturally feel discontent. Things aren't okay. Things aren't the way we want them to be. At the same time, our awareness, as it becomes focused, it shifts from just that open spaciousness. We separate awareness into a sense of me here, usually based around me, the biological organism, and the rest of the world out there. I, this organism, need to get the world to be a certain way. I need to get food or avoid this danger or turn up the central heating. There's something that needs to happen in the world to satisfy the needs of this body, this organism. And so this sense of a separate self emerges in awareness. And it's a very useful, natural thing to happen. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's what we often call the ego or the ego mind. And people tend to put it down in spiritual circles. The ego, I've got to get rid of my ego, I've got to transcend my ego, and I'm still dealing with my ego, or whatever it is. The ego's great. It's there as a friend. It's actually trying to help us get what we need in life and get things sorted out. That's its job. It's basically a problem solver. When there's a problem in the world, whatever it is, we need something, there's something we need to change, there's a problem. And we move into a problem-solving mode, which is, you could say there's three phases. One is assessing the situation. What's up? What's going on? What do I need? What's wrong? That sort of thing. How do I do it? Then there's the second phase, which is making decisions, making choices, deciding what sort of action to do. And then the third phase is planning what to do, carrying it out. And that's the ego's job. And that lies behind a lot of our thinking. If you look at your thinking, I would suggest a very large part of it is either assessing what's going on. A lot of it is commentary to yourself about what's happening, what someone's thinking, whatever it is. Or it's making decisions, choices, or it's planning what to do. Most of the planning is a complete waste of time. I think wasn't it Mark Twain who said, "My life has been full of disasters, most of which never happened." The question is, why is it that most people spend most of our time in living in this world of a separate sense of self, interacting with the world? And I think there's two things which have come together which lead us to do this. One is we are very good at problem solving, and because we've got hands and because we've got language and knowledge, and because we understand the world, we're understanding more and more how the world works, and we've got hands and tools and technology, we know how to change the world, then we fall into the assumption that if we're not happy, if we're not at peace, then we need to do something, change something, get something. And we're very good at that. We're wonderful, we're great problem solvers, and we're always creating new things, new solutions, new ways to do things, usually more efficient ways that make things even faster. And we don't recognize that the reason we're discontent most of the time is because there's something in our mind that's creating the discontent. I used to point out to people when I was working in the corporate world, I used to ask how many people get stressed by traffic jams. And everybody, or more or less everybody, would admit to being stressed by traffic jams. I then point out a traffic jam doesn't have that power. It only has the power to stop traffic moving. That's it. That's all it can do. If you're feeling stressed in what is actually the most relaxed part of any driving experience, when you think about it, being in a traffic jam, you've got nothing coming the other way, you've got nothing to avoid, you've got no looking out for pedestrians, you haven't got to worry about this. And it's actually the most relaxed bit of ever being in a car is being in a traffic jam, and here you are feeling stressed. It's because the voice in your head, and this is the voice of the ego mind that's seeing a problem here, it's decided there's a problem, you're going to be late, and if you're late, you're either going to miss the appointment, or someone's going to be upset at you, you're going to miss an opportunity, whatever it is. Being late is not going to be good. The voice of fear kicks in, the voice of fear, the body responds to that, getting prepared for action, and the hormones start flowing, and you start feeling stressed. And yet what we do is we try to change the situation out there rather than looking at what's going on in here. Somebody else could be sitting in exactly the same situation saying, this is wonderful. This is a situation I've been waiting for all day, and I can sit and meditate for a few minutes, but nobody coming in with problems for me to solve. I can relax for once. And it's the same thing with our whole society is geared towards this idea that if you're not content, we don't recognize that the discontent is coming from some perceived lack in the mind. We think there's something out there. And this is the second thing. We have incredible powers of imagination that other creatures don't have, because we can think into the future and make choices about the future. Other animals make choices about the present moment, but we can make choices about things that haven't even happened yet. And so in our imagination, we are seeing all these possibilities of things that could happen, and then trying to solve the problems that don't even exist yet. So the ego mind gets triggered in human beings time and time and time again when it doesn't need to be triggered. Its function is to help us. It's an ally. It's trying to get us through this world, help us survive. That's its function, is to help us survive. But most of the time it's actually getting in the way. And I say it's behind our society. So much of what we do, when you look at it, is based on this assumption, if only I could get the world to be the way I think it should be for me to be happy. It's conditioned into us from birth by our parents, because they didn't know any better, by the educational system, by the media, by advertising, just about any advertisement says, buy this product, this service, whatever it is, and you will feel better. What they're doing is creating a sense of lack. And it seems to work. You buy some piece of clothing, you buy a new jacket or something, and you feel better. And we think, buying the jacket made me feel better. So we learn from that. And so the next time we're feeling down, we go shopping. But what I love about the internet is it's showing up a little flaw in this argument, because it used to be you went to the store and bought your jacket and you paid for it, you came out carrying the jacket, you felt wonderful. Now you go online and you search around and you find the best website and the best price and the right color and everything. And then you press buy now. And that's the moment you feel better. And the moment your credit card is debited, you don't actually see the jacket for another 3 days. But the fact you feel better then, when you look at it, shows that it's not the getting the jacket, but you've temporarily relieved yourself of a certain discontent. So we are continually creating discontent, and then we do things to temporarily relieve us of that discontent. And that, I think, is what the Buddha saw in the Four Noble Truths. And the first noble truth of dukkha, usually translated as suffering, these days tends to be translated differently, as either that cumbersome word unsatisfactoriness. I just prefer discontent, unease. As some of you probably know, the root meaning of dukkha is actually a negation of the word sukha. And the word sukha means to be at ease. So dukkha is actually not being at ease in the world. So for me, that's not being in the natural state of mind, it's being in the ego mind. The ego mind is never at ease. It's always looking, wanting, working things out. So what Buddha was saying is we human beings are seldom in that natural state of ease. We're always discontent for some reason or other. And there's an even deeper meaning. The root meaning of sukha is a wheel that turns smoothly round its axle, which back in those times was probably a really important thing, because the wheel and the cart was the height of technology. And to have a wheel that was efficient was really significant. Dukkha is something that moves with friction and resistance. And I think you can take that into, why we feel discontent is we are resisting the moment as it is. We are resisting what is happening. Things should be different. I can't be happy in this situation. I'm resisting the experience of being in a traffic jam. And so that resistance is creating the discontent. And again, what so many people have pointed to is that, can we just accept the present moment as it is? Which doesn't mean accepting the situation, but accepting our experience of the situation. There may be many things we need to do to change the world, but we cannot change our experience in the moment. So can we accept our experience in the moment? And then the second noble truth was that, really seeing that we cling to our idea of how we think things should be for us to be happy. And then the third noble truth I've just been fascinated by recently is nirodha, which is often translated as cessation. The cessation of suffering comes from letting go of clinging. But there's another root meaning that scholars are looking at now to nirodha, which seems to me far more interesting. The root meaning of nirodha, one of the root, ni means out of, in this, like we have X, to come out of something. We use the X in England, to exit, whatever, to come out of. Rodha means prison. So coming out of bondage, coming out of imprisonment, which is freedom. So cessation, it is cessation, but the quality of freedom that comes with it is really interesting. When you look at the old translations, it's all about restraining the mind. We've got to hold the mind. No, it's freedom from the whirling of mind, freedom from the thought waves. It doesn't mean to say you have to stop them. Can they be there? And can we be present to them and be free from the effect they have on us. To say that's what I'm interested in practice. Well, two things. One, how can we be free from the whirling of the ego mind? It's going to happen. It comes up again and again and again. But how can we not stop it, but learn to step out of it so that we can come back to that natural state of mind, which I would say is the natural state of oneness. And the two practices which I find valuable these days, one is whatever's going on, not trying to change it, but just the recognition that, as I put it to myself, am I not the one that is experiencing this? I am not this separate self that I've constructed, that has been constructed rather, the ego mind, this separate sense of self, that I am always that sense of being which is experiencing whatever is going on, that is experiencing the anger or the delight or whatever it is, or the peace, the deep meditation or the frustration, whatever it is. Just to recognize that I am that knowing sense that is always present. And it's just a simple reflection of that fact and just turning the attention back to that sense of the knowing, the knower. And the other thing is, whenever the ego mind kicks in, there's always some sense of what I would call a constriction of consciousness, a tensing of the mind, a slight constriction. It's just, if the attention is being focused, then there's a sense in which the attention is being held somewhere. You've got a job to do, the attention is there, and so there's a holding of the attention to the job at hand. And whenever that happens, you can begin to feel it. There's this slight, I call it a constriction in the mind, a constriction of consciousness. And I found that one of the ways of recognizing when the ego mind is operating is you can just recognize this faint sense of tension that comes into the mind. It's always there, this slight sense of tension, constriction. Just recognizing that. I think there's almost a universal law with consciousness. What you allow into your awareness begins to dissolve. The opposite to Carl Jung's thing of what you resist persists. And he was saying when you push something out, he was talking about your shadow, but when you keep something out of your awareness, it controls you, it persists. When you do the opposite, when you let it in, things tend to dissolve. Just noticing more. Whenever there's that faint sense of tension in the mind, just noticing it, nothing more. Just noticing how it feels for the mind to be slightly tense, slightly focused. And the tension begins to soften and dissolve. And as that happens, you just drop back into that open spaciousness, the natural mind. And the other thing about the natural mind, there's a quality of love and compassion there. I think it was Baba Muktananda who said, love is the secret sensation of the self. It's one of those things where I think there's a lot of meaning in that. It's secret in the sense that we're not normally aware of it. It's hidden. It's hidden because our attention is with the stories we're telling ourselves, whatever it is, the problems we're working out. So it's hidden. But it's the sensation of the self. So it's like that quality of I-ness, that pure beingness. How it feels, it has that feeling of love, which again is that quality of oneness. Not love in the everyday romantic sense, but it's just a quality of love that's in one's being. And I'm sure those of you who meditate, you know that from time to time when you're in that deep silence of meditation, there is just that quality. It's just the love is there, but it's not love for anything, which is conditional love. It's unconditioned in the sense it does not depend upon any condition to arise. It is just there naturally. And that again is something I think we all want to return to. We all want to return to ease. That's something that's common to every one of us. We want to return to the natural mind. Everything we're doing, everything the ego mind is doing, is actually geared one way or another to returning to that natural state of ease. It's, again, something that unites us all. As the Dalai Lama said, in the final analysis, the hope of every person is simply peace of mind. And also in the same way, we all want to love and be loved. And what can easily happen if we're not aware of what's going on is we start manipulating other people in order to get them to love us in one way or another. It's a sad game that goes on, but the way it sort of happens is, you say something to me which is meant completely beautifully, without any ego, without any sense of hurt or anything, but because I've got my own little triggers, I get touched by it, I misunderstand, I feel slightly hurt by it, totally erroneously, but I feel that way. If I'm not really, really careful, then I'll probably respond in a way that's, it's slightly, it can just be a tone of voice or pause or body language, but something very slight just to let you know that I'm a little bit upset. And now it's deliberate. And now you feel it, you feel slightly hurt. And the game builds up and you end up in this vicious circle where it's sad, two people both looking for love, digging in at each other, saying, I'm going to just hurt you a little bit to make you realize the error of your ways and love me more. And it happens, whether it's personal relationships, family, friends, out there in the world with strangers, it's a game we fall into so easily and ends up in divorce, argument, fights, whatever. Simple way around it, and this really is the Buddhist principle of harmlessness, or the golden rule, which is in just about every tradition, is to have the intention that whatever you say or do in any interaction, that the other person should come away feeling loved, respected, not hurt in some way or another, not attacked. It's basically just checking whenever those little attack thoughts come into your mind, any sense of slight attack to make the other person in some way wrong is where an attack thought comes from. Just beginning to check those at the very start and not let them come out into the interaction. I think one of the Buddha's definitions of right speech was, if you can't say something in such a way that the other person feels good on receiving it, it's better to retain noble silence. But not in the sense of a cop-out, I don't know how to say this to you, so I'm going to shut up. It's like, okay, pause and wait and find a way to say it so the other person feels loved and cared for. And it really is caring. This to me is love in action. It's caring not just for another person's physical well-being. I think we're pretty good at that, taking care of other people's physical well-being. This is caring for their inner world, for their inner well-being, for how they actually feel, which to me is a more profound way of caring. It's very subtle, but just caring for how a person actually feels in an interaction. And when you practice that with someone, it's quite amazing the quality of love that begins to descend into the relationship. It really seems to descend in from somewhere else. This quality of the caring builds up, a real quality of love just begins to appear.
Okay, so this was really great. You see if it can help a human being in relationships. So this is what we do: manipulate, hurt, see where the cause root is. So if we can understand why this happens, why we do this. So very helpful. I hope we all meditate on this. We can't uh, change the situation. So sad what happens in relationships. So we have an ex-wife of Dubai royal pleads for help from UN in child custody battle. And what did Peter Russell say here? Very, very important for this case. How we start. So knowing the root cause of things, understanding, going deeply into it, how he explains, so level-headed. Uh, you can listen to it again and again until I also get a breakthrough, acceptance, but understanding one before accepting, understanding perhaps comes with acceptance. That's what I thought. If we could see where are we going wrong? What are we doing wrong? So to see where the game is being played, tactics applied to hurt the other person. This is it. So for this case, Dubai's ex-wife, ex-wife of Dubai's royal family, sorry, not ruler, royal family, Sheikh Said's case. Please listen. This is how shall I say it? This is the
And that, I think, is what the Buddha saw in the Four Noble Truths, to that sense of the knowing, the knower. And the other thing is, whenever the ego mind kicks in, there's always some sense of what I would call a constriction of consciousness, a tensing of the mind, slight constriction. He said, if attention is being focused, if the attention is being focused, then there's a sense in which the attention is being held somewhere. You've got a job to do.
oh, so this, sorry, I have to time and again pause. What I read in so this case, Peter Russell can help really when you're in these cases where you feel you can't do anything, but you can do something. Peter Russell uh, can help in this. His videos can help. And another thing is Muddar, I don't know how it's spelled, not Muddar, maybe with the double E, in the Taste of Hidden Things book by Zahra Zaveri Kach. So Muddar means constrained. Let me just find this book. It's not coming like this. The Taste of Hidden Things, Images of the Sufi Path. Goodreads. Zahra Zaveri. Zahra Zaveri. My grandfather's thing. What do you call it? So she speaks about, Sarah Saveri speaks about when we feel constrained in this book, Taste of Hidden Things. So constrained in, I can't find it. I wish I had brought the book here with me. Peter Russell talks about this constrained feeling, feeling of being constrained, appearing forced or overly controlled. You see this? So, mud, is it mudar, cons- meaning constrained? I can't explain this properly. Not mukhtar. Self reliance, right? Mukhtar, chosen. Oh, apne, without choice, what would you be? Choiceless awareness. Somewhere we've gone wrong. It's not mukhtar, it's mud. Let's see if I can find this Arabic word. Muddar. Arabic meaning. I can't even find this word in this mustard. So let me see if I can find a chapter on. It's like constrained feeling. It's a Sarah Saveri explains it in her book, The Taste of Hidden Things. This is the one. Feeling constrained. Yeah. Privacy. What privacy do I have? So this one. Just let's see if I can find some quotes of this book. No, no quotes. So what's in Sufism? When you feel constrained. In this book, anyways, is there. Like Peter Russell, I think, explains it in his video. One of his videos. We've done something really wrong here. We've gone wrong. Trying to fix this. Muddar. Isn't it? Why isn't it giving me this word? Or maybe I've forgotten. Maybe I should put it like this. Cloaked. Could be restrained, constrained. Mudatar. Oh, Surah Mudatar. Is so what's constrained in Quran? Constrained by what they say. Constrain your slave. And he is, sorry, I haven't put my mic on here. Oh, no, this is Quran corpus. Looking for, so if I can just get this Quran ayat Surah Hijr and get the Quran.com. Another straightened. Yeah, verily we know that you straightened your breast by what they say. Constrained. Okay, it's not muddar. Yade. Yade. So we do indeed know how thy heart is distressed at what they say. Why doesn't it come muddar? Muddar. So at times we feel this constraint. Okay, you see how much I have to search and all this? So the thing is, I realize that this Quran, Islam, has not guided us properly. The souls, I mean, foreigners are telling us the soul's knowledge we have. Please stop this. Why are you people hurting others, each other, for the sake of your children? Spirit's knowledge, sorry, given you but see, even I forget, and I say soul's knowledge. They ask you, Muhammad, about the spirit. Say the spirit's knowledge we have given you but little. Surah Isra, verse 85. So again, you will say that, oh, God is great, we rely on God. But all that we have been given here, I found out it's not proper guidance. Everyone says God, even Christians say God, Jews say God. Everyone says God, even the hypocrites in the religion say God. We love God. How do you know the difference? So, as Allah, yes, hypocrites in the Quran, some Jews, some polytheists, and all this, niches. So, getting to the cause, right? The root cause of the problem, I have to help my Shias also, and that hijab should not be mandatory. Hijab. First of all, the word hijab is, well, Imam Zain al-Abidin, then the Shias will say that be Fatma Zahra. So hijab is used in the Quran not for covering, but khamar is used. Khamar. Khamar. Put your, cover your heads. Let's see. Cover your heads. There's a big, there was this thing going on, debate on this in the Muslim world. Quran ayat. Some say it does not mean that you should cover your heads. Khamar doesn't mean. But alas, the Shias have won in this for me. Sayyid Muhammad Rizvi. the Quran and hijab. Now, since I think the Ismailis took His Highness Aga Khan III, he became very, intelligent, right? Imam, Ismaili Imam. Say to the believing men that they should cast down their glances, guard their private parts. That is, say to the believing women that they should cast down their glances and do not display their beauty except what is apparent, and they should place the khumar over their bosom. Now, what the khumar mean is plural of khimar, and veil covering the head. See any Arabic dictionary, Lisan al-Arab, Majma al-Bahrain or al-Munjid or Munjid. Al-Munjid, which is the most popular dictionary in Arabic world. Khimar, what and what does the clause placing the khumar over the bosoms mean? Khumar come from that word, alcohol, not drink, because what it do to your head, khamar. Shias believe they have worked it out, and also because of Al Bayt, the second verse. O Prophet, say to your wives, your daughters, and the women of the believer that they should let jalbab. Now, what the jalbab mean? This means loose outer garment. Now, search lisan al. It will tell you lisan Arab, Majma al Bahrain, or al Munjid, however you may call it, jilbab. So, khamar, ladies, Muslim ladies. So this, okay, khumar over their bosoms. Should place the khumar. And they say no, only cover bosoms, not the head. In Muslim, difference of opinion, interpretation, right? This what the who, anyways, someone get angry at me. You think I not know Arabic? Even some Arab here getting angry at me. So okay, Khumar and the law. Do not display. Do not. And not and not display their beauty except what is apparent, and they should place the khumar over their bosoms. Now I getting comedian. If something I blurt out rude, please forgive me. So very very hard to convince Iran that not to make it mandatory, because His Highness Aga Khan the Third also say no, no, don't, because you know why? Firstly, the dress, the best dress is dress of piety. Now, when you have Imam, true Imam, living amongst you, and he said to you, leave that verse. Now we, like God, he abrogate verses, bringing new ones in place of his other signs. We have provided for you clothing to cover your nakedness and as an adornment. Now, after this, I will take you to Adam and Eve when they were naked. When did their shame become apparent? They were naked in heaven, that very high place. And the Prophet Muhammad said, why these pagan Arab going naked around? Because they not have the fruit. They not have it. You see? Perhaps. We say Adam had the fruit. And then it make him, and Eve also, shame come. So I will take you there, but first here, now His Highness Aga Khan the Third. I'm just, like that, guessing. When Imam there, he say, he look at India, in India, right? And he say, okay. I abrogate that verse in the Quran. Throw your khumar over your bosoms. O children of Adam, yes, what you do to children, what you do to Adam, what can we say about the children of Adam? Verily, we have sent down to you clothing. If you cannot see it, I'm sorry, I forgot. Right. Maybe you said this translation not good. Shahnaz Sheikh. Shahnaz Sheikh? Yes. O children of Adam, indeed we have bestowed upon you from on high the knowledge of mankind. Knowledge of making garments. Yes, it came from the three leaves they covered. Adam and Eve covered themselves. Very true. Garments to cover your nakedness, and the leaves they covered their private parts with. And as a thing of beauty, but the garment of God consciousness. Yes, yes. Forget. No, no. Okay. Is the best of all, meaning, you see? So, pagan Arabs, they leave khimar and this and that and go naked around the Kaaba, circumambulating. Let me just say the circumambulating, and then you can mum it, add, right? So what happened? Why God said this also in the Quran? No, let us go naked. Sheikh coming, police, Sheikh not coming. Sheikh sending police over to me. Let us go naked. Why you blurt out like that? Okay, sorry, excuse me. So now where is the proper translation of this ayat? I don't know. And it is Surah Araf again, verse 26. You see, I talk like I talk to myself. So His Highness Al Khan III in India, he finally said that no, women are not supposed to, I forbid them to wear hijab and cover their heads. He forbid them. So Allah bring now, right? Allah exchange one verse for another and abrogate, cancel the verse before one. So Ismaili Imam do it. He true Imam, what can I say? I not to know. But there is an ayat for he perhaps say, O children of Adam, verily we have sent down to you clothing. It covers your shame and as an adornment, but the clothing of the righteousness. He sees some Shia 12 Shias also going crazy. Oh, sorry, hypocrite. That is best. Now, what Hafiz also do, the clergies, Shia clergies, of his time, wanting to kill him or something like that. So Abida Parveen Singh recite that Sufi, what Are Mullah Janaza Par, Main Janu Mera Khuda Jane. So if His Highness Aga Khan III abrogate those verses in the Quran, that now no more khumar, even if it is khumar, meaning that the head scarf, take your khumar and cover it with your bosoms. No, cover the bosoms with it. Sometimes I make very funny mistake, really. English. Both the clothing of the righteousness that is best. First you do this. That is from the signs of Allah so that they may remember. See, sign of Allah? Now, signs of Allah can change. So, His Highness Aga Khan III changed it in India for all his followers, Ismailis. That enough. His Imam, their Imam there. No one harassing, no Hindu harassing them, anything. He can afford to change now. So in Hindu, Ismaili is also living in part of now Pakistan at that time. Change. What Imam say, Imam's farman come, they like fatwa come. This is the best, right? And all this coming, covering yourself. How miserable Zainab bin Josh was. And you expect me to turn away from that and not look at Ibn Ishaq or Ibn Kathir or Ibn Sayyuti or, the Umayyad side. I show you how your prophet is. But this verse, and how he make Adam, you see, Adam naked, Eve naked. Adam feel shame, Adam and Eve. And I tell you, this is not from the Bible. Adam and Eve feel shame and cover themselves. So they were naked before God, before this fruit they have, and cover themselves with the leaves. Let us see if with only this I can. You see? People, story of Adam and Eve. First, they need to cover them. Oneself is not an artificial urge. Case of Adam. Adam felt ashamed and intended to ask Allah's forgiveness. The story of Adam. Oh God. So, where's that ayat? Feel shame and covered. I have to, can't help it. Covered themselves with the leaves of the fruit tree. Oh, yes, the Quran. Yes, Imam Sadiq, Quran ayat. Surah Taha, verse 121. And Adam and his wife ate of it, and their private parts became apparent to them, and they began to fasten over themselves from the leaves of paradise. Before that, what were it? They were naked. Prophet Muhammad in Sunni Hadith sources, Muslim sources, non-Shia. Okay, no, Muslim sources I find out because Shias then look this Muslim sources, not non-Shia, non-Shia, maybe Umayyad. I don't know how to put it. Sorry. You see this? He say one time Prophet Muhammad that these in Medina now. He said, "I'm not going for Hajj. First, remove these people, polytheists. They're circumambulating the Kaaba naked." Now, what happened here? Great disaster. Adam and his wife, and before that, were naked. Now their shame became apparent. The private parts became apparent to them. You see what the Hindu right? You see? So, Hindu right, Jai Singh, right? He right, हमने पढ़ लिया है कलमा हुसैन का. A tribute to Imam Hussein. करबला मजहर डॉक्टर मजहर है आज भी ज़माने में चर्चा हुसैन का चलता है कायनात में सिक्का हुसैन का भारत में घर वो आते भगवान कहते हम हर हिंदू नाम पूजा में जपता हुसैन का इसमें नहीं कलाम के हम बुत परस्त हैं आँखों से अपनी चूमेंगे रोज़ा हुसैन का हम पापियों का के सामने हुर की मिसाल है चमकाता है नसीब इशारा हुसैन का अहले वयाल अहले वयाल तो पढ़ते हैं कलमा हुसैन का हम हिंदुओं ने पढ़ लिया हम हिंदुओं ने पढ़ लिया कलमा हुसैन का what is saying translation I okay and let me just complete the सर अपना जो पटकती है प्यासों की याद में लेती है नाम गंगा और जमुना हुसैन का जय सिंह पना मांगेंगी मुझसे नरक की आग मैं हिंदू हूँ मगर हूँ मैं शैदा हुसैन का translation even to this day, Hussein's name is well known. Hussein's name is common currency for all mankind. If he had come to India, we would have called him Bhagwan. Every Hindu would have honored him in his puja worship. There is no doubt that we Hindus worship idols. Indeed, we all kiss his grave with all our affection. For us sinners, sinners? Unforgivable sinners. There is the example of her. Hussein's cause brought her to the truth. Muslims read the kalma of the Prophet, meaning Imam Hussein. Oh, I mean, okay, whatever. We Hindus have already read the kalma of Hussein. Shahada, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Aliun waliullah wa siyar Rasulullah. We Hindus have already read the kalma, shahada of Hussein. No, Prophet Muhammad not allowing you going naked around Kaaba. He kill you all. Surah Tawbah. He finish you. Jai Singh oh no, sorry, I missed one here. In memory of the thirsty martyrs of Karbala, the waves lash on the banks of Ganga and Jamna, remembering Hussein. Jai Singh, the fire of hell will never touch me. I am a Hindu, but I love Hussein. Dr. Mazhar Naqvi, thank you so much for this website and for this. A tribute to what Jai Singh, Dr. Mazhar Naqvi's website, maharamheritage.blogspot. Okay, this is contributed by maybe not Dr. Mazhar, sorry, what am I saying? Did I say Muhammad? Dr. Mazhar Naqvi has contribution here. And what was the contribution of the Hindu? Also another one. Gabra igizena. So like that, right? So the thing is that I'm not being rude, please. Okay, maybe I sound okay. I'm being very, very rude. And now where do we go? Again, we go here. So Prophet Muhammad, no, we go to this hadith. Prophet, you Hindus are unforgivable sin. Your Prophet Muhammad don't want to go. You know why? To Hajj, Makkah. For Hajj, to Makkah, better. from Medina. Sunni sources. Just Sunni sources, right? You can put Muslim sources, but you won't. Prophet said, whoever performs Hajj for Allah does not have sexual relations with his wife, does not book. Maybe you want to do. Maybe too busy with the. No. Here you see. Oh yes, Surah Tawbah coming. So I check Sunni sources. Why Prophet Muhammad not going? He busy. Nights. Maybe Sunni. There was one time where Prophet Muhammad sent Abu Bakr to. Wait, I will get you. Oh, Iran can come against me. The GCC. Oh, I cannot get you because your God has saved you. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. I will come later. Your God save you for little time.